sure.
Recording in progress.
Oh, wait.
Okay, good. Okay. You guys, we are super excited today. I'm going to let this I'm going to call you beautiful human because that's what you call everyone. Introduce yourself. And then we literally, you guys, we just met like fucking, we haven't met in the flesh. Like next week, I'm going to meet you, but, she, through a certification process that I'm in, she came on and did a Zoom and, I felt connected with her through that. So I reached out to her and I was like, dude, I love your content. Like you're fucking amazing. You seem super authentic. Found out she's from Sioux Falls originally, which is insane. And so we are gonna jump on here and we're just gonna like through conversation, jam with you guys on authenticity. So if you guys want to mention anything in the comments or anything, questions, whatever, do that. But introduce yourself and then let's jam.
Yeah. Guys, we were just talking for like 30 minutes. That 30 minutes went by so fast, by the way. Like that was a good conversation. I love that. So I'm like super stoked for this. Yeah, and we don't know each other. That was like our first time like talking. So like that's pretty fucking cool. But yeah, so I'm Emily. And where do I even start to introduce myself? So a little bit about me. I like to share a little bit of my background because I think it has a lot to do with who I am today and what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about authenticity and really just showing up as who you are and finding yourself. And it kind of all started when I was born. Let's go back to my birth. I was born with a disability. It's called clubfoot. It's pretty common actually, but so I was born with bilateral clubfoot and it was extremely severe. And since I was born in 94, there wasn't a whole lot that they had as far as surgically. There wasn't a whole lot of advancements with that. So I was told I wasn't going to be able to walk and, have a normal childhood. Lo and behold, they were doing experimental surgeries and I did have that. And like they go through a lot of surgeries, a lot of physical trauma in my body. I had a lot of I grew up with constant knee dislocations, constant pain, arthritis, and like I was just constantly in pain. But like I never, like my mom always said, like I was just like I caught the cat when I was like a baby in casts, like I was just very like it created me to be this like person that had this tenacity like my whole life. I just didn't, and it was always there. I just didn't really know how to tap into it. And I always, for a long time, I didn't really lean into it. I had it, but I used it instead to be a defense mechanism. And because I just felt like I didn't belong, I felt like I wasn't liked. I mean, I always wanted to be popular, and I kind of was because I was mean. I was an asshole.
Yes! I do fucking love you. That's why I was popular because I had to like be me. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, dick. Like, I mean, like if you were mean to me, like I was meaner back. So I mean, don't do that. Which was not great. Now, like looking back and like I was so different, like so different. Yeah,
same. That's funny.
Yeah, like God, I made teachers cry. I was like, oh, I got a teacher fired once. Like, oh,
wow. We might have to go like tally for tally on this. I think.
No wonder we like each other.
That's why I think. Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, anyway, so I used it like a lot in my I wanted people to like me, and so I was just really mean about it. Like I was just like, I'm not good enough. It came down to self-worth, and this is something we had talked about before we came on this. Like it came down to self-worth, right? I didn't value myself. I didn't know how to value myself. So I just like took it out on other people, and it was all projections from insecurities within myself. And once I started realizing that, which was probably like this self-development journey I've been on, it's probably been like a solid like 5 years or so. Of like actually searching out self-development, and it's been extremely accelerated in the past year. I went through a divorce and I moved my entire life across the country. I was living in Sioux Falls, on a whim decided to come to California. Never thought I'd live here my entire life, but I love it. And yeah, and essentially like now through all of that, like physical, because I let that really like take hold of me, like with my feet and my knees. I was like, I can't do other things, which like, I was like, woe is me, pity party, constant pity party. But like, there was always something inside of me that like wanted to push me, and I knew I was better. And finally, like this was like probably 6 years ago now, which is kind of what the catalyst was for all this. Was I was facing an amputation of my left foot, and basically the doctors told me I was in so much pain that they were like, you either cut it off or you take Tylenol and ibuprofen until you can't stand the pain anymore. That's what doctors told me, specialists. And I've been going to doctors my whole life. So like, I was like, that's fucking stupid. Like there's gotta be something else. And so then I'm a scientist, so I'm a biologist before I got into this. Love research, love science. So I dove into that. And then I started being like, oh, you take care of your body, like you start feeling better. What? So craziness. I started actually taking care of my body and doing strength training, which literally like I'm barely in any pain anymore, which is nuts. That I used to be like I could barely walk, and now I do hikes, and I average 12 to 15,000 steps a day. Like I'm hella active, and I was told that I'd never be able to do that. Like
Insane.
it's literally the most important part of my life. Like, and I was like, I have to bring this to other people because I know there's other people with the same disability that I have. And it's so easy to be a victim. And I've helped, actually, I've had clients that have had clubfoot, and it's been an amazing thing to help other people do with the same thing because it's just not in the disability world. That's really like, that's a whole nother rabbit hole, but like, it's so easy to let things take hold of us and create us in this victim mentality. But ultimately, as harsh as it sounds, nobody's gonna fucking come for you. Nobody is Superman for you except you. Nobody's going to come and resolve everything that sucks for you. No one's gonna give you a magic pill that's gonna change your life. Like, no one's coming. Like, I know that sounds like horrible, but it's also beautiful. Like to be like, wow, I'm the fucking thinker, believer, and creator of everything that is in my reality. And the cool thing is, like, think about like we all have different realities too, right? It's like perceptions of other things based on our worldviews, based on our values, based on everything. And a lot of the less we can project onto people because we value ourselves, the more the realities can kind of connect and like become, I don't know, like you can form connections, right?
Yeah.
Like
100%.
why, like, you know, people like when we reach out, we're like, we have worked on ourselves. So it's like, I want to like get to know other people because like, you know, you are an individual, and like we see that, like, you know, that's why I say beautiful humans all the time, is because we always dehumanize ourselves all the time. Like I have clients, I'm like, go fucking look in the mirror for 5 minutes and just like tell me you're not gonna cry. I do it, and I fucking cry every time. Like every time. Like, and I'm not a crier. I am not a crier. So like when you like, you know, like we're humans, and like I'm just really passionate about that now. Is like every single person is so beautiful, and it's just tapping into that and allowing yourself to find it. And like that's something that I've like come to find is like I'm beautiful. Like I'm beautifully and wonderfully made. And I like, it's just a cool thing. You get one life, you know? Like we get one life. Like I totally agree.
And it's like we were talking about like society and its norms about how like everyone is like, I don't know, when people want to become someone else, it literally drives me insane. I'm like, literally God made you to be unique and like yourself. And that's why we are all so great at different things. Like it would be really fucking boring if I looked like you, I acted like you know what I'm saying? So like, that's where you need to tap into like, what are you passionate about? What do you actually care about? And like actually do those things, like find some self-worth and know, because that's the other thing. We should have just recorded like right when we fucking hopped on.
I know. Yeah.
That's when all the like the good shit happens. But it's like, I don't think like I was telling you, going through something challenge, I don't think I knew that I could do something as challenging as I'm doing today without going through prior challenges, like becoming a teacher in the inner city. All of those things shaped me to who I am today. It also is, it's interesting being like an entrepreneur on the fact that like people are always looking at you and like you're always in the fucking limelight. And that's something that like my husband and I separated last year, and it was literally like one of the hardest things because like the rumors that were getting said and all of that. And so it's interesting to me of like, I just had to remember what the truth was, and whatever people were saying about me is like the opinions, like one of my mentors would tell me, like the opinions of others are none of my business. It's not. Like I need to stay true to me. And like my dad always tells me, like, only start worrying about it if people start telling the truth about you. I'm like, thanks, Dad. But you know what I mean? I'm like, it was very difficult, but like me staying authentic throughout the entire time of like who I truly was, I think it also made me more relatable. I think it made me like, more people hate me, but more people love me, and like gravitate towards that connection even more because I stayed true to who I was and like my morals and values the whole fucking time. Like if you don't like who I am, then that's fine. Like we're all not the same cup of tea.
Nobody has to, right? You have to like who you are.
Exactly.
And, like, you have no idea, like, and like what other people are thinking. Like obviously, like if you hear shit, but that's, I mean, even then, right? Like it doesn't actually affect you. You let it affect us. And a lot of the times, people aren't even like. And not necessarily that situation, but people like sometimes you think you're being judged, whether you're walking into the gym and you're like, oh my God, people are like looking at me and thinking
your perception.
Yeah, we're like making this shit up. Like it's not even fucking real. Like that's what I'm saying. Like we're creating our realities. It's like, how about we stop thinking that? So there's this thing called the cognitive triangle. And it's our thoughts, our feelings, and our behaviors. We think something, so like you think, and this is where a lot of like relationships get fucked up, is because you think this thing about this person, what this, maybe like a text was misinterpreted or something was misinterpreted, and you think something, you have an emotion about it, and then you act on it, and then you start like, and then it just spirals into this whole fucking shitty thing. And like instead, it's like we can have emotions and we can address those emotions, but then it's like, okay, let's not be reactive. Right. And it's like, that's where it comes down to, you are acting with authenticity and alignment within your core values. It's like, okay, even though I'm feeling something, is my reaction because of that feeling going to be in alignment with what I'm feeling? Probably not. Then I'm not going to do it. Right. Like I'm going to give myself a minute and like, make sure like one of my things like that I've adopted over the past couple of years is like, I don't want to put any negative energy out into the world. That means I don't flip people off when I have, you know, anymore. And that's like, I'm aggressive when I drive. Like I'm like, get out of my way, I'm fast, you know? So like when like I get like just so pissy and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna react. I don't want to ruin this person's day. I don't want to. Why would I? Right? Like, and that's my value. Like if they want to ruin my day, that's fine. But like, or actually that's actually on me, right? They don't get that control. And that's the thing, is like control of like what happens, like perception. Like I got a flat tire last week. First flat tire of my entire life, right? By the way, I've been in a long-term relationship for a decade. So that was a whole new thing for me, of like by myself, 5 a.m. in the dark, flat tire, it fucking exploded. And I was on my way to a hike and I really needed it to be in a good mental space. And then like it fucking blew out. And I was like, okay, I could be pissed, or it's like, either way, no one's fucking coming to save me. Nobody. I have to figure it out. So that means I have to keep my calm and I have to do it. I have to act. And I did. And like, I was like, wow, I just did this all by myself in the dark. And I feel really good. I was like all fucking smiles the rest of the day because I had a flat tire because of my perception. Yeah. I will take something from this and I will make hella good day from it. You know, like, and that's, I mean, fucking, you literally are the creator of your reality, which is just when you can get that power and then be so aligned with what your values are that you can act from that. That's happiness right there, right? We all want happiness. Yeah. And it doesn't come from like people. It doesn't come from relationships. It doesn't come from things or money or whatever. So it's like, that's why, like, you know, I know we had talked a little bit about people not loving what they do. Yeah. It's like, you know, you're miserable showing up. Like, that sucks.
Yeah. Like, so like do something about it. Like, what do you actually want to do?
Yeah. Like
actually, you are in control of your fucking life.
Yeah. If you don't like it, don't do it.
Back and have regrets.
Yeah. That doesn't mean you're going to be like, that doesn't mean life is going to be easy. And that doesn't mean life is going to be like full of like, there are parts of my business that I absolutely fucking hate, right? We were just talking about the stresses of business before that's super like, fuck, like it's hard. Like, trust me, like it's not all butterflies and rainbows.
But it's how you react to it too. Like I
Yeah.
told you about like the shitty, so like when I was first into business, and this can go with anybody in any job, it's like when something happens that's like chaos or someone quits or someone spilled coffee, what the fuck ever it is, like you are in control of the way that you respond. So instead of like for me, I've had people quit in the past and I'd get like super anxious, like how am I going to fill that position or anything, and now like I'm super calm because I'm like there's no point in like raising my stress levels.
Yeah.
Or just fucking problem solve, guys. Like your job, like you get to choose how you react to any situation. So if you stay calm, like you did with your flat tire, like any circumstance, instead of getting yourself all fucking wound up, like figure out how you are going to solve the problem. And then do it. Same with like, if you hate your job, look for something fucking else. Like value yourself enough to know that you are capable of doing literally anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah, and it does come from like, and start with small stuff, right? Like, I didn't just do like all of this crazy big shit. I didn't just move across the fucking country because I wanted to live here versus fucking South Dakota. The first thing I did, right? I did like tons of tiny little things, and a lot of it came from starting to take care of my body first. I just started eating better. I started moving intentionally. I started doing strength training. That's the shit. That's why I love this field so much, is like literally it starts with that. When you start to be like, oh, like I feel good in my body, like I want, like your mind starts to align with that too.
Yes.
And you're like, okay, like there's more to learn about myself. And our minds, like, I mean, we don't use much of our brain, right? Like we really don't.
I know
like,
I don't.
Yeah. Like there's so much potential up here. And it's just so cool to think about. It's like, sometimes it's like frustrating. I'm like, why can't I know it's there, but like I can't access it, but like, yeah, I don't know. It's just the perception is fucking everything. It really is. And like just being responsible and not being a victim. I mean, and a lot of people, and I've found that can take offense to that a lot. Like I'm a tough love type of person. I say it like it is, like, just like you, like, I love that. But it's like, I'm not enabling you. I'm not going to do that because that doesn't align with my worldviews. I'm not going to like sit by and watch you slowly kill yourself. Like I'm not going to, like, and yeah, there's empathy to be had. Trust me, I've learned. I used to call myself like, I used to say I didn't have the ability to have empathy. But I absolutely do now. Like, I mean, I have so much empathy for people.
There's a fine line between empathy and enabling.
That doesn't, just because I have, I don't know, just because it's tough love doesn't mean that there isn't empathy there. And there's not ways to communicate that empathy as well. Because we're all at different levels. Like I wouldn't expect somebody to be able to do what I'm doing right now, at a different level. We're all at different, and it's not to say you expect perfection either. Like nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. Nowhere near it. Right. But like just constantly trying to get better and like knowing and understanding that that's possible. And that a lot of the times, 99.99999% of the time, you're getting in your way. No one else. Nothing else. Yeah. Like that you can't like control what you can control, let go of what you can't.
I was just talking to a client about that yesterday. It's like when you're trying to control things that are out of your control, you literally are wasting your fucking time. Like there's nothing that you can do about it.
Right. Yeah. Like if on that flat tire, if I were to just be like, oh my God, it's so frustrated with this tire. Like why? This would of course happen to me. And I did think that a tiny little second. I was like, fuck, of course. Like, and then I'm like, no. Get a hold of yourself. Like you have to figure this out. And like it, like it could have taken hours and hours and hours, but I instantly, and this is over time of practicing this skill of like understanding, like you control what you can control, let go of what you can't. I can't make my tire unflat. Like I can't do that. It's not magic. I'm not magic, right? It's not Harry Potter. So what I can do is like figure it out. It's like, I know how to change a tire. I've never done it myself, but I'm like, I know how, like I've learned about it before. And like, I know I have YouTube, I have service, right? So like,
Thank God for YouTube, man.
yeah, fuck that. Fuck that. I actually like called my ex too, and I was like, bro, this is not working. And like, it was like, so me and my ex have like a very, like, we're still like best friends, but like, I wasn't using the extender on the like the thingy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't even fucking
Back it up.
Yeah. I wasn't no to get the bolts off. That's what it was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was like, it is not coming off. I'm like, I was almost in tears. I'm like, I am doing this, but like I physically am not strong enough to do this. And he's like, put the extender on. The extender's like this big. And I'm like, that's not gonna do anything. I did instant. I'm like, okay. So and then I just like laughed. And I was like, all right, fuck.
Oh my
And
God, that's
yeah.
awesome.
And it just like ended up being like, and that's like kind of like how I look at things too, is like, and I've had people say, which is trippy, like that I'm not experiencing problems or I'm life is easy for me or, you know, stuff like that. It's like, no, I'm not happy all the time, but like I do try and look for the silver lining, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. Like,
Yeah.
I have to look for the lesson in things. If I don't, I've struggled with mental health and depression in the past. If I don't, I will fall down that hole and it's dangerous. It really is.
Yes.
And it's, I mean, and nobody's free from that. And it's not, I never want to put out the perception that I am perfect or I have this perfect outlook. I fuck up all the time. You know, like, I mean,
But it's again, like we talked about, it's having that growth mindset and not fixed mindset of like really understanding that things are not failures. Like I always tell my clients, it's not a failure, it's a learning experience. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you choose it to be a learning experience, if you're in a fixed mindset and you choose it to be like, I'm a failure, I suck, you're in control of that. But if you choose to look at it as like, this is a learning experience, how am I going to problem solve to be better, do something different the next time to make the result a better outcome. I mean, you're in control of that. So that's the whole like positive outlook thing. You've went probably from, we've all had like fixed mindsets to, you know, having more of a growth mindset. And as an entrepreneur, you fucking have to. Otherwise, our business would close down the day after it fucking opened.
Yeah, you no longer have a business.
We would no longer have a business. And that goes for like nutrition, like health and wellness shit too. Like I always tell my clients,
Yeah.
I'm like, there's going to be good weeks. There's going to be bad weeks. There's going to be better. There's going to be shitty. There's going to be good months, bad months. Like there's some things that you cannot control. You still can control what you put in your mouth and what you do. You know what I mean? But like,
but without the bad, you wouldn't have good. Think of that. Like that's trippy to think about is like without the low moments. Like when I think about my life, when I was in the moment, also somebody fucking shared this amazing quote. I really should have screenshotted it. I didn't. But like there's this like the thought that intensity is only momentary. Like in the intensity of your emotion and like the shitty situation or even the happy situation, but like really like when you're really going through something, and I've been in some really, I'm sure we all have, right? Been in some really, really shitty situations. And it's like it feels like you're falling apart. It's only momentary. It's not forever. Like, and it's getting through that, learning how to get through that. And like, but those low moments make us so much more grateful for the other moments. Like think if everything was happy and rainbows and sunshines all day, every day. If you didn't have those rainy days, you wouldn't be so appreciative of the sun when it came. You know? Like it
absolutely.
And it's hard to like for us to conceptualize that, I think, but like when we again, perception, you get to choose
I had one of my old mentors said something to me that always sticks with me, and she said, you don't get to choose whether a situation is good or bad, because like essentially forever, if someone's listening, like I'm a believer of God, so whatever, but like you don't know whether something's good or bad, only God does. So like one of the, like, there's been numerous times that in a situation, I'm like, that was really shitty, whatever happened, but it turned out to be like that blessing in disguise type situation. It's like, so don't get very upset so whatever you consider bad might not be bad. on the
Yeah.
opposite side of it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it could be like
Yeah.
moving back to Yankton, I thought it was gonna be the shittiest thing in the world. And now, like, I would have never thought that I would be here creating this amazing space for women. That would have never happened if my husband wouldn't have been like, let's move back to Yankton. You know what I mean? So like there's always a silver lining. It's just the way that, again, your perception is.
Yeah. And you never know. Like, I mean, you never know. So it's like, yeah, like I was listening to a podcast the other day that said, kind of like building off that, like there's no good or bad. It just is.
Yes.
And it just is. So like when the more that we can tap into that in the present moment, by the way, that's another like reoccurring theme for me, like lately has been like really just being present. And like, cause like think about your dog, right? Like your dog is like always present because there's that innocence. There hasn't been the stupid shit of society pushing us into a little box, right? Like we were talking about earlier, like your dog is just a dog and they like love you. And when they see you come home, their tails wagging, they're excited and they're so happy. Or when they get in trouble, they're like, oh, you know, they feel bad, but then the next second they're happy as shit.
Yes.
You know, and it's like, that is all that exists for them is that moment. And that is so beautiful. Is like, I could have that's the thing. And I think that is like why sometimes people are like, oh, you don't understand what I'm going through, or like you're always happy. And it's like, I seek out things that I enjoy and love, like topics like having conversations like this with people. I love that. And like I could have the worst shitty situation happening in my life right now, but like I'm in this moment, you know? And like, and I'm not saying I do or don't, I'm just saying like that I did have a conversation with somebody who basically said, you know, told me that I wasn't experiencing things that she was experiencing. I'm like, you have no idea. I mean, you don't, you know, and you just don't have any idea. And frankly, it's none of your business, but like, I mean, it's, that's not it, you know, but like, and that's another thing is like, right. Like, don't also project onto other people, like either like, and that's more self-worth. The more you can really just get into this is like, the more you can enjoy other people when it's like, a lot of the times if we don't like somebody, it's a projection of our own insecurity.
Yes.
Like, most times. Like, so it's like, again, authenticity. Like, it's like if you guys start, like people are listening to this, if you start seeing, or if you start noticing you judging other people, I encourage you to
figure out why, like tap into that.
Yeah. Like I saw this, yeah, and I do, I'm not perfect, right? Like I do it a lot way less than I used to. And I don't enjoy talking negatively about anybody behind their back or in front of their face. And like, but I found myself, we were on this cliff there's some loopy people here in San Diego. That's just a matter of fact. But like there was this person like dancing around on the cliff and I was like, I looked at her and I immediately just had like this gut, like, that's weird. And then, but then I was like, and again, I caught myself immediately because I've practiced this for a while. And I was like, wait, why am I judging her? I was like, she's being so authentic. She's got her headphones in. She's dancing around.
Love like, life. Just fuck everyone else. I love that.
I'm like, fuck. Like, it's because I'm not doing that maybe in this area of my life right now. And I want to. Like, I want to be like, I don't fucking care what you think about me. And because of that, I made a decision this week and I'm taking myself out on a solo date. I went to like I'm going to a cello and piano concert, which is super nerdy, but I'm like, I thought like it was like being judged or like, you know, like I was thinking about others' perceptions of me. And then I'm like, I'm going to dress the fuck up. I don't know how people are going to dress up. I like dressing up. I'm going to do it. I don't give a shit what other people are wearing. I'm nervous. I am nervous to do that, but it's showing up authentically. And when I'm in that moment,
yes.
Yeah. When I'm in that moment and I'm dressed the fuck up and maybe other people are in jeans and sneakers, I'm gonna be like,
be me, sweatpants. I would sit right fucking by you though.
I'm like, I don't care. That's you. That's me. Like, you know, it's like, and that's the cool part about that is the more you start doing it, the more people start seeing that and the more people like want that. Other people want that too. Like when I saw that chick doing that, I'm like, I want that. Like I kind of wanted to meet her because I was like, fuck, that's great. Like, and I do walk up to some people where I just admire like what they're doing or whatever. I'm like, and that's how I meet cool people, you know? Like, I mean, that's how we met, right? Like there was something that stood out to you. And like,
use your dreads. I was like, I told manager, I'm like, I want dreads. I saw you had dreads, so I reached out to you.
That's a huge, actually, like your physical appearance, that does have a lot to do with it. And like, that's kind of why I had them for a long time, and they might come back, but like, I wanted to stand out. Like,
Yeah.
I always have wanted to stand out. And it was like, that was that way of showing it. And like, it does show other people like, hey, like I am approachable. Actually, it was a part of my brand. Like really, it really was.
It's dope.
But yeah, it's just, I mean, all of that to say.
No, I love that you said that, because it's very interesting. Like, literally, I hate dressing up. Like, it's the worst. I wear sweatpants every day, but that's just, and I used to like, when I was younger, I used to wear a lot of makeup, only because everyone else was doing it. And I wanted to look better for people, or like people pleasing. And now I just don't. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, even on days that we go to like weddings or anything, like I choose not to wear makeup, and other people would be like, I would never do that. This is just like who I am. I don't like wearing makeup, and so I'm not going to. Same with like, I'm not going to, there's like certain things that like the whole, like, how are you going to dress? Like, I'll dress however the fuck I want. It's always going to be jeans and a t-shirt. Okay. So like, if people are going to make me dress up, I'll throw on like a tube top fucking dress, but like, we ain't getting fancier than that. Okay. I may or may not brush my hair, but like, and people actually at Empower, like, they love me for that, because they know that like, you get what you get with me. Like, I am not like someone that looks different on social media than you would see in person. The way that I'm talking to you is the same way I'm going to talk to anybody fucking else. Like, I am not going to chameleon my way into anything. Like, this is what you get. And if you don't like it, like, I'm still going to show up as myself for myself, because I'm going to.
Yeah. And honestly, the other way, doing it the other way, how fucking exhausting is that?
So,
like, I mean, I just like can't even imagine like fucking not. I've had people, like multiple people actually, be like, "Oh my gosh, you're like the person that you are on your social media." I'm like, "Yeah,
like,
like
yeah, this is what I look like in life."
yeah." Like I'm trying to like, I'm putting more of my weirdness out on my social media, and like, because it's fun, and it's like other people need to like. That's like my idea of like my whole business is, even though it's branding and marketing, my business is, it's focused around people being so in touch with themselves, they can put that into their business and their brand. Like, more people need that, because people work with me because they're connected with me. I don't ever honestly get people I don't want to work with anymore. Like,
Yeah,
ever. Because I'm just like so authentically me. Like, and that's the goal, is like, you don't want.
It is, you have your niche. Same with like girls that come to Empower. It's like, everyone has who they're comfortable with, who they click with, all those things. It's not clicky or anything. It's just like who we want to surround ourselves with. And I mean, it just is what it is. So like, yeah, people might look at your page and be like, nope, she's not for me. But like, if you were trying to please everyone, you would get so many fucking people. And then it's like, you wouldn't connect. It just wouldn't work well. And so if you're trying to be out there people pleasing everyone and think that, oh my God, I have a million friends. Like, I don't want a million friends. I want fucking two. Okay. Like, friends are exhausting, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just, the more that you can be you, the less exhausting your life is going to be. Yeah. And I think one of the, like, I know we talked too about, you and I both are really, we like to give action steps. And so I think one of the, I always do this on any of my lives. I'm like, at the end, you need to do something. Yeah. Otherwise you just wasted your fucking time listening to us awesome people, but like, do something about it. So like, one of the things I find super necessary that people don't do a lot, and I actually need to do more of, is like that spending time with yourself. Of like, you can't truly know who you are if you don't spend time with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Tying into that is like, a lot of the times we do dehumanize ourselves. And what I mean by that is, think about how mean you are to yourself sometimes. Like, right? Like, it's just so natural. Like, I'm so mean to myself sometimes. And like, like, I do this with my friends, I do this with my clients. And like, when I want them to say something like, okay, tell me like the 3 biggest things that you like are really hard about yourself on. And then they do. I'm like, okay, now tell me that. That's me. Those are the things that you're telling me about. Right. So it's like, and then
they don't want to do it. They're like, I would never say that to you.
I make them do it though. I do. I love it.
Do they
makes
like
me
start
cry.
crying?
It
I'm
really
gonna
makes
start
me
doing that.
cry. Like, and I'm like, okay, that's you. Like, you just had to look me in the fucking eyes and tell me that, and that hurt you. So why doesn't it hurt you when you do it to yourself so regularly? And like, fuck that hits home. So like, do that. That's another action step. Like, mirror work is powerful.
Yeah.
Like, actually humanizing yourself. I know it sounds woo woo or crazy or I don't know, but I used to be the skeptic. I used to be such a skeptic. Like, oh my gosh. I was like, anything spiritual, like I've always like believed in God, but like anything like spiritual, like I don't know, like digging into yourself. I was like, it's stupid. And it was probably a defense mechanism. But like, I would always just call everything stupid. And it was like literally what changed my life. Like is like looking in the mirror at my eyes and just like
Being open-minded. Yeah.
yeah. And yeah, it's so, so powerful. And like, just addressing how you're so mean to yourself and like be kinder. Like you are the only one that has to live with yourself 24/7. Like ultimately, you have no like that girl dancing on the cliff, she had no idea what I was thinking about her. She had no idea I existed. No
She's
idea.
loving fucking life.
Yeah. And she
So
was.
everyone
So
should
that's
go
how
out.
it
Oh, you're not in Yankton. All the people in Yankton need to go outside and dance in the rain right now.
yeah. Exactly. Like do what you want. I mean, as long as it's not hurting anyone, it's not hurting yourself. Like, and that just comes from like core values of like, okay, what do you value? What do you want to put out into the world? Ask yourself that. What do you want out of the world? What do you want to put into the world? Right? Like it's like that you get that one life. So I mean, I feel like I'm giving out so many action steps here, but like essentially like do the mirror work. Just do 5 minutes of looking at yourself in the mirror and just kind of explore what's coming up. Like don't even have any intention, don't have expectations. Literally just shut yourself in the bathroom for 5 minutes and look at yourself in the mirror. Shit will come up, I guarantee you. Unless you're a robot, shit will come up. So I mean if you're a robot, I guess we'll find out. But
I
yeah.
do like that one too. And yeah, and just like reflect on it.
Yeah. And then, okay, take an action, right? So again, action steps. That's why we like giving action steps is like, okay, you sat with that. Now what can you do to act on it to make your life better? What do you want? And a lot of people don't do that. And this is what I see in businesses as well. When I work with businesses, is like, they don't even know what they fucking want out of their business. What is success to you? I don't know. Clients,
Why do you have a fucking business?
like what let's get to that first. Like what do you want? Like nobody answers that because we're all just like society. It's like a program, like again, like we said, that assembly line, right? It's just like shit being put into our brains, like this is what you do, this is what you think, this is how you act. And of course we're gonna fucking act out and be assholes, like when we're just going like that. Like it's shitty, it's suppressing who we are.
There's not many people that there's like a 1% that act out. You and I are two of them. But
Yeah.
it is so true, especially the business thing, or like, what do you guys want out of life? Because instead of like, what does society think I need to be doing, like with my business, right? Oh my God, before we get off here, there's so many times so I created a women's space, right? And so there's so many times that people have reached out to me that are like, why don't you open it to men? My husband wants to come or whatever. You'd make more money. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I would. I'd make a fuckload more money. But what do I want to provide for the community? You know what I mean? So it's like, I could change my morals, values, and all those things, and even the way that things are happening at the studio, but that's not what I want it to look like.
It doesn't make it bad. Like just because you're choosing to do something doesn't mean the
Right.
other thing is bad. You're just choosing to do that thing,
Yes,
right? Like,
exactly.
And that's up to you. That's not anybody else's business. Like, honestly, that's one of my I know that sounds like an asshole thing to say. Honestly, it's nobody else's business.
What you want to do with your life is no one else. That's why I hate like social media when people like, you don't know, I'm like, if they're not hurting you or themselves, don't fucking worry about the way that they choose to live their life. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Like, be open-minded. And like, that's where, like, if you can be more open-minded and make more connections with people, you will grow so much as well. like, instead of judging people, connect with people, and you will learn a lot probably about them and yourself.
Well, think about like when you give somebody, when you get a compliment from a random, just a rando, think about how good that makes you feel, right? Like, so maybe do that and like see how good. That's I think the shift of me. I still think I have a very much so dual. Like I really like I have tattoos that represent my kind of dark side and like light side. Like I think
Same.
I have a very like dark like autopilot that can be really fucked up. But like I have experienced and put myself in these situations of like positivity and like complimenting people and seeing other people succeed. Wow, that lights a fucking fire under my ass. And I'm like the negative shit, that's easy for me. That's to constantly be an asshole to people and just be a dick. Like, oh, that's fucking natural. But like when I like, it's not a good thing, right? Like, so like leaning into like the, oh my gosh, but like it doesn't feel good. It pacifies me in the moment to be a dick. It feels good as it fills my soul to fill other people's soul, right?
Yes.
Like
Yes.
that's where, so it's like again, it comes down to like, am I projecting on somebody? Like there's things that will always be able to project. But if I can value myself enough to do that inner work enough to be able to like not have that interfere with my ability to make somebody else's life better, that's where it all comes down. So it originates with self-worth. So that's all the action steps, guys, that you're taking away from this. Fucking self-worth first. And then you can come back and apply all of this other stuff and just like be aware. Like it all comes down to awareness first. Really, it's just like start like noticing things. And that's a win right there. I mean, I tell my clients too, like my nutrition clients, is like when you notice you're like binging or whatever, or you notice like I mean, I'm a lot really focused on mindset, but like you notice yourself saying these negative thoughts about yourself. Just notice.
Consciously stop yourself. Like I have my girls, I'm like, you have to consciously stop yourself and like have like a positive affirmation or, something like that. The more that you train your brain, the more your brain will do that. Like we're autopilot to be an asshole. It's so much easier for me to like call someone a bitch than it is to tell them they're pretty. Like, fuck. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like I get like scared to give people a compliment, but I'll fucking tell you everything that's wrong with you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, then that's where like ultimately that self-work like has to come in. Like, you can't like, it's so, if I was in the victim mentality that I was for so long and be like, well, I'm just an asshole and that's who I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. But then my life would suck. First of all, it did suck. And now like, and now that I've changed it, it's not sucky anymore. Yeah. Do I go through shit still? Yeah. Do people still not like me? Yeah. Like people are assholes, but like, I don't have to be an asshole back. I don't want to I don't care if you're a dick. Like, I don't want to be a dick to you. So that's a core value. Just because it's easy for me to be a dick doesn't mean I want to be a dick. I've said that so much.
Yes. Oh my God. Okay, let's see. How long have we been talking? 45 minutes. Okay. Yeah. 45 on here. So that means we've been talking for like an hour and a half.
I have a podcast that I am going to start. And you are we need to have a conversation on it.
Whatever you want to talk about.
It's gonna be this shit. Like, I mean, it's really focused around like women and entrepreneurship and just like growth and in itself.
I love it. I'm in.
Okay, clearly.
Okay, you guys, because we did get some comments on here. A lot of people are telling us thank you because this was a really good topic and now I can't read them. Okay, if you guys haven't, what's your most of my girls are on Facebook.
Oh, I mean, friend me. I mean, I'm not super active yet on Facebook. I'm trying to I'm still.
But on Instagram, she is.
Yes. You can friend me. I mean, if you tag me in this, you can find me and friend me.
Yes.
My Instagram is fitness over fears. It's fitness_over_fears.
Yep.
And you can witness all my weirdness and it's pretty fun.
It's great. She wears like mustaches and shit. Yeah. And she's always like sliding into the frame. I need to be better at doing shit like that. But no, she's great. And if you guys want us to, depending on my schedule, like if you guys want us to jam on other things, or if you guys have questions in related to what she talked about or I talked about, please like comment below, reach out to one of us. We love, like, if you didn't get this from us already, we love connecting with people. So
Yes.
like, just fucking reach out and let's talk.
Literally,
Yeah.
we didn't know each other. Like, that's the
Yeah.
crazy thing. Like, we
But
just
we get
talked.
to meet next week.
Yes, I know. I'm so excited.
I'm fucking jacked. I'm super nervous.